Am I wrong for yelling at my wife in front of my family for putting salt in my mom's birthday cake? It's a mother-in-law, daughter-in-law story. Here we go. So my wife, 24, is the main cook in the apartment. She cooks whenever we have guests over, and for ages, my mom has been complaining about my wife not adding enough salt in her meals. My wife would take it personally and start a fight over this small comment my mom makes. Okay, the thing about salt in meals, if you want salt, add it yourself, okay? When you put too much salt, you can't go back. I'd rather be safe and put less salt. Anyways, my wife and I hosted dinner weeks ago, and my mom made the same comment about my wife not using enough salt, even though my wife swore she did and said she was careful with salt, but my mom still insisted the food was tasteless. Oh, see, salt comment is different than saying it was tasteless. The fact that you're saying the food is tasteless because of salt is a different story, because salt does not do that big of a difference. Now the family was divided on this, so we couldn't really decide if my wife really used enough salt. My wife started crying after they left, saying my mom was being deliberate with this salt remark to make her look like a bad cook, but I told her it's not true and she needed to let it go, and she did. Hours later, she forgot about it completely. For my mom's birthday, my wife offered to make the birthday cake, saying she found a really great recipe on a cooking blog. Mom wasn't excited for the idea, but I told my wife to do it, thinking it'd be a nice gesture to help them get past their conflict. We went to my mom's house and brought the cake. During the party, my wife insisted I see where this is going. During the party, my wife insisted my mom be the first to taste the cake. Mom grabbed a piece, and once she put it in her mouth, she immediately got it out while spitting in the plate. We freaked out and got her some water while she was yelling that there was salt in the cake. I looked at my wife, and she said she had no idea what my mom was talking about. I immediately went to get a piece and taste some and found that it was full of salt. It tasted horribly, absolutely horrible. Still, my wife acted confused, but I told her how effed up it was for her to put salt in the cake. This is funny. She said that since mom was obsessed with salt, she figured she preferred over sugar in her birthday cake. I was flabbergasted. I blew up and berated her in front of my family till she took her bag and went home. My sister said that it was all right and that my wife was probably feeling frustrated and wanted to make a point to my mom. I went home and she refused to speak, except to say that I hurt her by yelling at her and that I should have told mom off when she kept making remarks about her cooking, but I told her she acted childishly and ruined the birthday party and made an unnecessary scene for no reason at all. Now she's acting like the wrong party, but I let her know she has to apologize to mom. Okay, I do admit putting salt in the cake is wrong, but if you ain't cooking the food, right? Shut the fuck up. Do not tell me there's not enough salt, there's not enough pepper. That's why there's salt and pepper shakers on the table. If you put too much salt, you can't de-escalate from that. But if you have too little salt, you know, your lazy ass, you can get the salt shaker, shake, 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 and there you go. Voila, more salt in your food. I hate when I make something and the people who don't cook berate me and try to be like, oh, you did this. There's a difference by giving a helping hand, like pulling someone to the side and like, oh yeah, this was really good, but you know, next time you should try this. I think this was off. That's giving advice and actually being nice.
Am I the asshole for the strict schedule I have my kids on? Disclaimer, this is not my story. It's summertime, so while mom and I work, our 3 kids are at home, ages between 8 and 15. We were talking with other parents about what our kids do during the day, and some friends were shocked that I was being so strict during summer break. Here's why. They have to do chores every day. Here's what the chores include. Daily, they have to clean the bathroom, bedrooms, playroom, and any dishes basically pick up after themselves. Monday, they wash, fold, and put up their laundry. Tuesday, they sweep and vacuum. Wednesday, they mow and weed eat. Thursday is nothing extra. And Friday, they sweep and vacuum. Monday through Friday, they wake up and run a 1 mile and have 15 minutes to do it. If they don't make it in 15 minutes, nothing happens. I'm just giving them a very achievable goal. Electronics are turned off at 12:30 until we get home from work around 4:30. We have a pool and they have so many toys they have to do things that don't include electronics. Am I the asshole for the strict schedule I have my kids on? Disclaimer, this is not my story. Electronics are turned off at 12:30 until we get home from work around 4:30. We have a pool and they have so many toys they have things to do that don't include electronics. They have to complete their chores by 4:30, so they spend the morning playing Xbox or watching TV, eat lunch, then do their chores and entertain themselves. I don't want my kids just sitting in front of a screen all day because it's not healthy. Being forced to use your imagination isn't a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. I want them to run because they all play sports and they get gassed out rather quickly. This summer is the first summer we've done the mild thing and I'm hoping it helps once fall sports start. I'm just trying to equip my kids the best way I know how. Other parents have made comments about how summer break is all about relaxing and getting to take a break from responsibilities. That it's all about fun and I feel conflicted. Am I the asshole for leaving my in-laws' house with my daughter after she told me she was feeling uncomfortable? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I, 37 male, have been with my fiance, 37 female, for 2 years. We're getting married soon. I've only met her family a couple of times. My daughter, Judy, female 16, has never met them until recently, where they hosted dinner to celebrate 4th of July, and that's when they met her for the first time. Judy has a visible burn scar on her forehead. It was due to an accident she was in when she was 9. She used to be incredibly insecure about it. It got to the point where I was forced to homeschool her, and it was very hard trying to deal with it and navigate through the rough time. Now she's doing a lot better, though some comments can really cause her to become stressed out and anxious. My fiance knows this and respects it. Before we went to her parents' house, I asked her to tell them about Judy and her struggle and try to get them not to say anything negative about it or possibly mention it. She said she would guarantee no one would say anything. We got to the event and they talked to Judy and she slowly warmed up to them. Everything was fine until dinner. Am I the asshole for leaving my in-laws' house with my daughter after she told me she was feeling uncomfortable? Disclaimer, this is not my story. My future mother-in-law looked at Judy while she was eating and pointed at her scar, basically asking a lot of questions about it, which made Judy lose her appetite and start to get uncomfortable. I kept sending my fiance and her mom signs to knock it off, but nothing happened. Finally, my future mother-in-law then brought up the wedding and asked my fiance if it would be possible to Photoshop the scar out of any wedding photos. I was dumbfounded. My fiance said nothing, just stared casually while nodding. I looked at Judy and it was clear this got to her. I leaned closer to Judy and asked if she was feeling uncomfortable and that we could leave if the answer was yes. She took her time and said, yes, I'm feeling uncomfortable right now. I got up and told her to get ready because we were leaving. My fiance, her mom, and family started insisting we finish dinner and stay, but I refused. I took Judy and got in the car and left before even talking to my fiance. She called me and was angry, talking about how I disrespected her parents by taking Judy and leaving in the middle of dinner. I told her that Judy was feeling uncomfortable.
Am I wrong for getting angry at my girlfriend, female 28, for hiding that she speaks Spanish? My family is from Mexico, but I was born in the US. I'm the only one in my family who doesn't speak Spanish. All my extended family speak it, but I never really cared for it that much. Kat, my girlfriend, knows I'm Mexican, and she asked if I spoke Spanish, but when I said no, she didn't push, which I found refreshing. Usually people ask a lot of questions. She never said she spoke Spanish, but I remember her watching something and hearing Spanish, but I figured she had subtitles on. If it's important, Kate is from Germany. Well, did you ask her if she speaks Spanish? She doesn't have to outright tell you. You have to ask her. Kat and I have been together for 3 months. Oh my god, you guys have been together for 3 months. Calm down. You want her whole life story? Relax. It's not long, but it's been intense. My grandma's birthday was on Saturday, and my family threw her a huge party. I invited Kat to come along with me as it would be perfect time to meet my family, and they're always very welcoming. Kat agreed. When we got there, everyone switched to English to speak to Kat, but they quickly went back to Spanish. I went to grab a beer and came back to find Kat talking to my aunt in Spanish. I came over and played it cool, telling her I didn't know she spoke it, yada yada. Sorry, wouldn't you be happy that your girlfriend can communicate with your family? I don't see the problem here. When Kat was with me, she spoke English, but whenever she spoke to one of my family members alone, she switched because they switched. It made me uncomfortable, especially since it wasn't your typical barely spoken Spanish. It was full-on fluent Spanish, and she understood my fast-speaking relatives. I got really annoyed with her, but said nothing. My grandma told me how much she loved Kat and how she's happy I found such an amazing girl. All my family loved her and couldn't stop singing praises about her. I'm waiting to see what the problem is. I told her that I feel betrayed that she hid that she spoke Spanish and how she made a fool out of me there. I admit I was shouting because I was so angry. I felt humiliated. Why is it her fault that you don't know Spanish? I'm trying to correlate the two, but they don't correlate. She asked me to calm down and told me that she never hit anything. I accused her of sneakily making her way into my family instead of having them warm up gradually. What a stupid thing to complain about. She asked if I was being serious and I confirmed. She called me a jerk and left my apartment. I was too angry to stop her. I am waiting for her to call me with apologies, but she hasn't been in touch since Saturday night. I told my brother about it and he told me that I am the fool, but I really disrespected Kat. So am I the asshole for getting angry at her? Wait, how old was this fool? Oh my god, he is 29 years old. I thought you guys were like little ass kids having this problem.
Am I the asshole for prioritizing my family over my fiance's? Hearing that, you'd be like, no, not at all. But listen, it's Easter weekend this weekend, and this is the first Easter where we don't have Friday and Monday off, so we only have a 3-day weekend, meaning we only have 3 nights to do dinners. This would be okay, but my fiance has 3 sets of families, and I only have 1, meaning 4 different dinners. My family only does dinner on Sunday, and it's with everybody. So I didn't ask anybody else, I just made plans with my family, and afterwards I texted my fiance's mom. Hey, what's the plan? Yada, yada, yada. She doesn't have her kids this weekend, so we decided to do next weekend. Fine. My fiance's stepdad was like, we're going to do Saturday. Okay, Saturday blocked off. I honestly didn't even think to text my fiance's actual dad. I didn't even think to text my fiance's dad to say, hey, we're busy Saturday, Sunday, we can do Friday, or we can do next weekend. So they made dinner plans for Sunday and then texted me about it. And I straight up said no. I'm not doing 2 dinners in one day. It's too much for my son. So am I the asshole for choosing my family over his?